Barney, would it be fair to say that the Church of Scientology was more spiritually focused under LRH, or is this just naive nostalgia? No, I think it would be fair to say that that's true. And the reason for it is because Scientology has always been influenced very heavily by the culture and society that it is in, because it's trying to put out a message that will appeal to people. In the early 1950s, it was about science with Dianetics, and then about the Thetan and sort of getting into that mode with Scientology. And there was exteriorization, and there was talk about, popping people out of their body, and this was really wild. And hey, we know it's wild, but this is where the research went, so what are we going to do? Well, by the 1960s, when flower power and free love and society blossoming and all kinds of spiritual movements taking root, especially in the Western world, Scientology jumped right onto that, magic carpet ride and promoted themselves as a very highly spiritual, Buddhist inspired and motivated, Hindu inspired kind of religion. And it was all about the spirit and, and realizing your true potential and all of that, which carried through in the 70s. And people were really into that stuff. And so there were very active efforts made to align Scientology's messaging with that. In the 1980s, things got a bit more, economically focused, and it was all still about me, but it was more about, power suits and yuppies and climbing corporate ladders and economic ladders. And so Scientology became more marketed as a tool set of practical tools that you could use to improve your life. So then it became less spiritual and more practically oriented, even though Hubbard had always defined it as an applied religious philosophy, a very practical set of things, of methods and methodologies that you would use to improve your life. So while the core of Scientology was always pretty much the same, how it was promoted and talked about is what changed over the decades, and that's kind of the point I'm making. So yes, in that sense, it was more spiritual under Hubbard than it has been under Miscavige. If, we were to see some great spiritual revival here in the United States, because things have been kind of moving away from that with the rise of the internet and science and facts and reason and mass exposure to information from all over the world, more and more people are turning away from religious-based answers because they just aren't making a whole lot of sense for a lot of people anymore. Still, the majority of people still go in that direction, but it is a changing demographic. And Scientology is trying to roll with that, which is why you see them talk about spiritual technology, and their Super Bowl ads still align with a spiritual message to one degree or another, but it's more about the technology. And they're trying to show that they're more science-based when, obviously it's all just a bunch of pseudoscientific crap, but that's the approach. So that's what you see there.